What's up, my people?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good.
Excellent. Excellent. All righty. Let me just pull up the Facebook group. Let's see here. Yeah. So Bernie, I saw your question in the Facebook group about setting up tying two units, two listings together. You can definitely do that. And Chris just responded a little while ago. He can't make the call tonight, but he will do a screen share to show how to do that.
Okay.
So that you can link up multiple listings together. So if they block the whole house, it blocks both listings. If somebody books one of the listings, then it blocks the whole house. But it's definitely possible. I've never done it, so that's why I wanted Chris to walk us through how to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So he will do that for sure. So let's go around the horn. Bernie, why don't you kick us off and let me know what's new with your business and what questions you have for today.
All right. So I've been for like the last month. I've been trying to get to the co-hosting part of my business,
Okay.
and I've been getting a bunch of referrals, mostly from my multifamily meetup group.
Okay.
And we talked a couple of months ago about being established as the Airbnb guy, and now they're starting to call me the Airbnb guy in there, which is really cool.
Love
So
it.
I got a couple of referrals. I had one that really it didn't go that great, basically because the property wasn't good. I think I mentioned that to you when I spoke to you, but just for the group's sake, it was basically the property didn't really meet my criteria. The guy was a real pain, and there was a lot of things, but I was almost kind of desperate for it. So I knew I need to say no, but I kept on inching forward to say yes. But eventually I said no, and it was confirmed by a couple other people that have dealt with him, with the guy himself, that it was definitely a no deal. So I'm glad I did that. But then this weekend, over the weekend and throughout the week, I had two more property owners that I talked to and toured their properties, and they both went really, really well. And I fired up a bunch of questions on the Facebook group because as I'm getting closer and closer to them, I guess they're asking questions and some things have popped up. So one of the questions that popped up, Mike, we have talked about doing the elite, and we have talked about including some of the other packages. So I wanted to know if on the co-host agreement it says that there's a fee for home away, $349 to $999 annual, or 10 to 13% per booking. And I know we talked a little bit about home away about that, but if you can clear that up about what's included in that in elite.
So I think what the co-host agreement is saying is to clarify with owners that they understand that in order to list on HomeAway and VRBO, they can either pay a 15% commission or they can pay $500 up front to HomeAway. So that's all that the co-host agreement is talking about.
Okay.
So it's not specific to elite or secrets. It's just in the co-host agreement, you want to let your owners know that and you got to pay to play. So just like Airbnb, they take 3% from us. Booking.com, HomeAway, VRBO, they take 15%. Or you can pay VRBO $500 up front. And then they won't take a fee. So I usually just encourage owners to just pay the 15% commissions unless we start getting a lot of bookings on HomeAway and VRBO, then we can switch.
Okay. All right. Got that. Then I had another question about some of the fees. Like on the credit card sign up, I know there's a $500 setting up the listing fee. Is that $500 for actually setting it up on Airbnb, or is it for like dealing with them and setting up the property?
No, so I don't charge that anymore. And I thought that was updated. So let me just double check the course. I'm not sure when you downloaded that. But
yeah, I probably did that in August. I probably still have the same one.
Yeah. So we updated that. So I don't charge that fee anymore. Basically, the owner just pays for everything.
Okay. And then the last question on that, let's see. what's okay? So the one guy that I'm really the closest to right now, he's got a company that's doing the listing, and it's in all the platforms. So if he signs with me, how do I do the transition? I'm really not sure how that
Say
would
that
go.
one more time.
So one of the owners, he's got a property that's already being co-hosted by somebody else, and so it's on VRBO, it's on HomeAway, it's on all the other properties. So I'm not sure if they're using Guesty or something like that. So if he signs up with me, do I just have him? Do I try to take over all those listings, or do I just have him cancel those and start the listing myself and just do a fresh brand new one?
So he's already paying somebody else to manage the properties, and you're basically going to take over that business?
Yes.
Yeah. So most likely that person's probably not going to be too happy, and most likely might not be too happy to help you take them over. So what I'm just making assumptions here. So you may first, you're going to need the owner to confirm all the future reservations that you have.
Okay.
For those. You can get, is it under the owner's accounts or is it under some other person's accounts?
No, it's under some other person's account. In fact, when I went there and asked him, he couldn't even pull up the listing. He didn't know where. I didn't even tell him that I found the listings. He didn't know where the listings were, and he only has 2 days booked in the future.
Oh, well, that makes it easy for you to transition then.
Yeah.
Right.
I can just block out
because
those
like
2
when I
days
took over the Texas ones, there was a bunch that I had to like essentially manually recreate in my system, which sucks, but you can do it. If he's only got 2, it's pretty easy to take it over. You just set up your own and then, add in those reservations. Okay. You just need to message the guests and just say, hey, we're transitioning. I mean, at the end of the day, if he cancels the guest, it's on that other dude's account, so you don't really care anyway. But ideally, if you could get those bookings and they make sense for you, then you want to message those guests and just say, hey, there's been a transition in management. We're going to need you to rebook under this new account. I apologize for any inconvenience, but here's the link to the new account.
Okay. And then I can transfer. Okay. Would it make sense to just leave those 2 bookings on the old account and just like block everything else around it and just let it go away, let it expire?
You could. How are you going to manage it? How far in advance are these bookings?
It's in mid-March, and it's one guest for 2 days in mid-March.
So it's one booking.
Yeah, one booking, 2 days. Yep.
Yeah, that's easy enough then. You could do that.
Okay.
The only thing is you're not going to be able to send the guest messages. And that old manager isn't going to give a crap. So why would he send the messages?
That's true. Okay. But either way, definitely build a new Airbnb site for it, not use any of the old stuff.
Yeah, because I'm assuming that other manager is not just going to turn over their account to you.
Right. Yeah. And I read the reviews. The reviews are not great, and I think I can fix some of the not great reviews by disclosing some of the stuff in there, because it's not in the best of areas. It's in a pretty decent areas, but it's really close to an industrial zone. So there was a lot of surprise by people that the property is in an industrial area. So I think, and I read through the listing, and the listing didn't say anything about that. So all the bad reviews were just about that area. I mean, they were not totally bad reviews. They loved the property, they loved everything. They just didn't like where it was. So I think you should have just disclosed that. My opinion, anyway.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that one. Anything else?
Okay. Nope, that's it.
All right.
All right.
Jamie, you're up.
I was going to say, you're going to probably hear some dogs. My dogs are now deciding to go crazy, so I'm trying to give them to shut up.
All good.
So Brad is at a multifamily meetup right now in Tysons, Virginia. So we're hoping that we get some more traction, because the last one that he went to was canceled and they didn't realize it. So he ended up having like a one-on-one with just a single guy there. But I mean, Florida's going good so far. We got another booking in the middle of today for out in March. And I mean, everything's going pretty smooth out there. We can't complain.
Awesome. Any questions that you have for this call?
Nope. Not this
Okay.
one.
No, that's fine.
We
want to make sure that we get through
questions.
everybody's calls.
Yeah, we might have questions afterwards about Elite, but just for talking. But this one we're good. We're just like waiting for our co-host to come through and sign some freaking paperwork.
It's coming. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's going to. That's what we were saying. We were gonna go from like 1 to 7 overnight, and then it'll be fine. Give me the problem, but
Mm-hmm. Love it. Demetrius, what's up, buddy?
Not much. Excited.
I see you're collecting that cash flow now.
It's pretty crazy. Like, surprised that people booked without photos of the house. Just that coming soon. Like, it's like I wouldn't have booked a house without photos, but these guys were just left and right requests. I was like, that's pretty good.
Love it.
Yeah. A couple questions though.
Yep.
When it comes to like amenities, when you offer, like I'm gonna start offering breakfast items like just ready oatmeal breakfast bars. Do you adjust to the number of days that they're booking to, or do you do like a one stay kind of thing to make it easier for the cleaners?
So I don't offer like food and stuff like that. But I have offered wine. I give them 1 bottle of wine. I'm not feeding them and giving them booze every day. So I would, you could just put out 2, or like some of our properties, we have these like, these microwavable chocolate treats. We'll put out like 2 mugs with the chocolate treats inside of those.
Okay.
So, if you're going to advertise it as having breakfast, then you're going to need to do more logistical stuff, to figure out, on the reservation, how many people are on the reservation. Through SmartBnB, you should be able to automate that and send it to your cleaners that like, hey, there's X number of people on this reservation for X number of days, and then they'll be able to put out the correct amount of food. I just haven't gotten into that, to be totally honest with you. So that would be my approach though. I would notify the cleaners, buy all those bars and instant oatmeal in bulk at like Costco or Walmart or Target or whatever, and load it up in your supply closet. Just have the cleaners just put that out.
Okay, makes sense. I guess one other question that I have while people are booking, should I be holding dates if it makes sense when it comes to like numbers? Like if they're trying to book 6 nights and it's this X amount of dollars, should I hold it for them? Or is it first come, first serve always?
I never hold it unless it's like, I don't know if ever. And I just had somebody book like 2 months and I was like, I can't hold it for you. So you want it, you better book it now.
Right.
Otherwise I'm not holding it for you.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's like anything. Like people say that they want it till you ask them to pull their credit card out.
True.
Right? It's a different story. So make them vote with their wallet and friggin' pay up, and then they can book it.
Okay.
So
I just had someone message me back. It's like, I thought you were going to hold it for me. I was like, oh, it's kind of first come, first serve. So
yeah, no, nobody holds it. Sorry, boss.
Cool.
But good question.
Another one was for the proper insurance.
Yep.
Do you recommend the auto water switch since it's going to be a remote property?
I don't have it on mine, but I also, the community I'm in for New Hampshire, as an example, dealing with potential frozen pipes, part of the HOA fees go to having some dude show up every Wednesday and make sure everybody's water is shut off. So if I don't have guests, he goes in and shuts it off for me. So you could go that route. I just don't have experience with like those fancy schmancy water monitors, to be honest with you.
Okay. I mean, number wise, it's like, I think the average is like $200 to $300 just for the unit. That's not including install. And the savings was like $10 a month. So I figured it should pay for itself eventually.
Okay. And so what exactly does it do?
It's like your August lock app, or it has a hub, and you can use your phone. You could shut the water off remotely, essentially.
Wow, like at the water main?
At the water main, yep. And
Wow.
then they give you a discount for that $10 a month. Proper does.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All
So I
these
figured the
kids and their
cost
cool
wise,
technology.
yeah, I know. Dude, speaking of technology, so this is Costco offers these smart hub switches, dimmers. If I can get
Oh,
the
sweet.
angle right. Yeah. So you can control every light. I can control every light now in the house with the smartphone.
Hot damn.
Yeah. It's actually very cheap. It's like $30 for two. Just to install that, it's going to cost you. Yeah.
Sweet. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. Any other questions?
No, my main concern right now is just adjusting for amenities, knowing what to do for that. And first booking's coming up soon, so excited.
Nice, man. That's it. That is very exciting. Congrats. I know it was took a little time to get everything done, but you're there.
Yeah.
You're starting to get some cash flow, which is sweet.
Yep.
And don't stress out too much. Once you get that first one done, the first turnover, you're gonna be like, all right, I got this.
Well, it's actually, speaking of the first one done, after I get that first one done, should I then add my listing to like VRBO and Home Away, or should I do that right away?
I mean, honestly,
Because I want to experience a little bit before I actually start branching out to the other platforms.
yeah, I don't think you need to add complication, to be totally honest with you. I would keep it simple. Like I said, I was literally only on Airbnb for like a year and a half.
Okay.
Like, and I had plenty of business from Airbnb. So unless you're finding that you're not getting business, which will probably be because either the photos suck, your title sucks, or the photos suck. Once you fix those, then you can kind of start playing around with some other platforms, but there's plenty of business just on Airbnb. No need to make it complicated.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it for me.
I think Dan, I saw you pop in next.
What's up, Mike?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Let me turn my video on. I am going to Cleveland Friday to get set up, so I'm excited about that. I'm going to use my contractor to help me with it, put everything together. My wife and I were going through the fast pass like in detail.
Yeah,
she's like super picky with stuff. But the only thing we didn't get, I mean, we're gonna get most of the 95% of like the stuff in there. We just made, we did some picked out some different stuff. But you don't get you said you don't get the couch. You got a couch on there, but you said you sometimes don't get your couches on there.
No, well, for me locally, there's a store. It's called Bob's Discount Furniture. It's like an Ashley furniture type of deal. They're a little more, yeah, Ashley's a little bit bigger. So we usually pay about, well, now she's using a lot more with Wayfair because we get such discounts with them. But before it was roughly like $750 we'd pay for like a queen sleeper sofa. Mm-hmm. And then another, I think $400 to $500 for like the love seat to go with it or the chair to go with it. But most of the other stuff was through Amazon. Now, like I said, we've got like a friggin' whole design team through Wayfair. So we're doing a lot more stuff with them, but the majority, like all the essentials, we're still getting through Amazon, like the linens, the towels, pillows, all the plates and cups, like all that jazz, the locks, is still all through Amazon.
Yeah. And all that stuff I'm going to get through Amazon. I'm just trying to coordinate, like putting this shit together,
Yep.
Which my guy is going to help me with, who's been rehabbing the house.
How many days are you giving yourself to build it out?
So I get there Friday around 5. I'm going to be there Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and he'll help me. My sister's going to come over and help. Hopefully 3 days. And if something is, doesn't get done, then it doesn't, hopefully I'm hoping 3 days should cover it.
Okay.
You're like that.
A week. Yeah.
Not gonna happen though.
I mean, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. Just because there's a lot of like, it's all the little stuff that just adds up. Like you're going to spend half a day at least just unboxing shit. Like
I know.
straight up. Like,
yeah, I get it.
So the more help you have, the better. What I've done is like, again, like in the course I teach, right? Like I'll go, especially if it's in a new market, I'll go on like Handy and Thumbtack and just start hiring laborers for a day. And if they're good, then I'll just get their cell phone and I'll be like, hey dude, I know I paid Handy $100 something bucks. I'll pay you $20 an hour to come back and I'll buy you beer and pizza to like finish it out. Right. And just pay them outside of Handy and it's cheaper, and have them build, you know, all the different furniture pieces. And then you can focus on the strategy of like, where is stuff going to go? Do I have everything? Is there anything missing? Do I need to go do any exchanges for broken shit? Like all of the like quarterbacking instead of like the lineman blocking, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah. Okay. And I got my sister to help when I leave if something's not done, which probably it will be.
Okay.
Because I gotta set up a couple extra Ring cameras. We're gonna put the, you know, he hasn't done the August lock. He wanted to wait till I got there. So, you know, stuff like that. I know it's gonna take time. So.
Okay. Which August lock did you go with? Did you get the Yale or the other like hockey puck looking one?
Yale.
All right. Good.
Yeah, the one you recommend.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I was going to ask you about, I don't know why, but I'm nervous about pre-launching a listing. I guess I'm just like, I don't know about if I don't have the date, you know, like the exact date that it's going to be ready. So I haven't done it. I'm like, well, let me just wait till I get there and like give myself like, then I can set it a week and a half later. So then it'll be live for at least a couple weeks. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just being too nervous about it, but so I haven't done that yet. I was gonna run that by you first.
Do you have any photos yet?
I have not really. I just got like, you know, a couple exterior photos of the house, but nothing that's like no finished. And that was another issue. I don't really have any like finished photos.
Okay. If you had like one good one of the outside, like you could put it in Canva, like go to canva.com, upload the photo, it's free. And then you put some text on it, like coming soon, blah, 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 blah. And you could always block off like the freaking month, but at least you'd have bookings starting next month and then you can open it up. So you can give yourself as much window as you want. But at least you'll know that you're going to start to see that you're getting bookings while you're building it out. And it's going to be like, nice job. Like while you're building it out, right? You can kind of get a little gratification while you're doing it. But you don't have to, right? Either way, it's whatever's going to give you comfort. Frankly.
Okay. All right. Then I might just give myself to like, you know, maybe like end of the month.
Okay.
The other thing I was going to ask you about was Proper. I talked to them and it's quite a bit more expensive than State Farm.
Yep.
I'm tempted to just like take a risk and
yeah, I mean, I don't know, and I don't want to advise people on insurance and shit like that because I don't want anybody to come back to me and be like, dude, you said I needed to do this.
Right.
But I would just look at it, have somebody that you trust look at it and be like, where am I exposed? Or am I exposed? Right. I basically was like, who covers this kind of stuff? Because this was, 3 years ago. There wasn't as nearly as many options. So I was like, this company has this with the commercial liability. It's for short-term rental operators. I'm like, I'm in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their premiums have gone up substantially since I joined. But I've just kept it for now. So if State Farm is just as good and it's cheaper, then hell, let me know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't offer. It's not short term though. It's just like it's a non-owner occupant policy, but it's not a short. It's not specific to short-term rental.
Okay.
So that's why I'm a little concerned that it's not going to cover something if it's not like a 1-year lease or something like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I would just find out, like, God forbid something happens. Are they going to loophole their way out of paying your claim? Right.
Yeah.
Because that would suck.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go with Proper just because.
How much was the difference in price?
So proper is 1,600 for the year, and I think I'm only paying 600, or around. I don't even think it's 600. I think it's 580 a year for the State Farm.
Okay.
So I guess so I'm like, man, another $1,000. But then I'm like, well, if something happens,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like there's no right answer. I just, it's whatever I'm comfortable with, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll make that decision. I'll probably end up going with proper.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions as you're getting ready for the build out?
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
I'm looking at one other house while I'm there.
Sweet. Awesome.
I'm starting to look at other markets around here, but I'm narrowed it down to Cleveland and Jersey area, maybe some places upstate, but I don't really know these areas as well as I know Cleveland. So.
Okay. A piece of advice is I would print it or have it on your computer, like have the furnishing checklist with you so that you can go through and like I have the column where it's like ordered, delivered, installed. So you can kind of keep track because it can get overwhelming when you're building it out. There's just so much shit everywhere that like I'm not the most organized person. So I force myself to use this checklist because it helps me keep everything on track. Because then you're going to know, like even the last one we did, like I missed something, like I missed a knife set that ended up, it just got delivered somewhere else and I missed it. And I had to guess like, hey, where are the knives? And I was like, shit. Right. So even I still miss stuff. But having the checklist definitely helps. So
I will do that. I'll do that.
Cool. Steven, you're up.
Hey, how you doing? I'll piggyback off that proper conversation. Just to put it in perspective, I'm looking at about $3,000 in Orlando due to hurricane insurance.
Yep.
So, but at the same time, 600 versus 1,600, you've really got to look at that red flag, right? I mean, are they going to cover the lost income, for example? Which will add up very quickly if someone vandalizes the place, the rental before. So anyhow, we are moving forward, although I got to tell you, mostly because of the problems of having to buy a place as opposed to, leasing a place. But I talked to you last time about this business of the foreign investor and having to get this FERPA insurance and needing a signature. Well, we are official victims of the coronavirus. The U.S. Embassy closed down in China, so now we're getting delayed. And this is where it really gets interesting, is we now have a legal rider written into our contract allowing us to go into the place and set it up. So we're still driving down Friday night. I've got the trailer loaded with my 26 Amazon boxes ready to go down. And the rider states right in it, we're going in to change the locks, to put up ceiling fans, to hang TVs, to set the place up. But there's still challenges. For example, half of this automation all runs off Wi-Fi. And I'm trying to get the old cable service provider to change in my name, but I need the seller to be able to cancel it. The seller's in New Zealand, and so I'm running into certainly a set of adventures in front of me that are just making this interesting, but haven't lost sight. I mean, it's still fun. We're going to get there. It's exciting. And we're on track. I think we're getting there. The insurance, the tax, the state taxes is another fun one. Set up the state license and tax with Florida in order to be able to legally do this and report the tax and get the state and county licenses and make sure they're ready and things like that. But it's all coming together. So I think, I'll stop the storytelling here and get into the meat. I don't know if you were able to see, Jamie had a request. I don't know if you're able to do tonight, Mike, to do a one-on-one.
I can't tonight.
Okay.
And I apologize if I did not see that.
That's okay.
Where did you send the message?
I think she sent it via Facebook. I'm not sure. I
Okay.
can't be for certain.
I'm starting
not
to learn, by the way, that my Facebook business page, it doesn't send me notifications when I get messages. I don't
Okay.
know why or how to set that up. So if I don't respond to that one, shoot me a DM on my personal until I figure
Got
that
it.
out. So I apologize for missing that. But I'm actually doing some Reiki work on a friend of mine who's really sick tonight. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing that tonight. But yeah, if we can schedule it for another night, I'm happy to help for sure.
No worries, no worries. I think it's just it's the final integration of everything really that we're looking for, right?
Mhm.
I've got 3 cleaners we're going to interview next week. I've got the
Okay.
pool company that's lined up. Everything's coming together, but integrating TurnoverBnB and Smart BnB, and is there a way to integrate it before turning on Airbnb
No,
and things like that? So
nope.
okay, that's the bottom line.
You need the listing to
Yeah.
do it, because they essentially all tie to the calendar of the listing, to the
Okay.
account of the listing. So until you have the listing, you really can't integrate the others. What you can do on TurnoverBnB is they usually want you to link it to a listing, but I've emailed their support and I'm like, hey, the listing's not live yet. I'm interviewing cleaners, so let me post it anyway and I'll add it later.
Okay. I mean, we may turn it on shortly. I guess the disadvantage there is that the sooner you turn it on, the sooner you lose your 90-day grace period, correct? I mean, that's the way I see it.
When you say 90-day grace period, what do you mean by that?
Well, the quote unquote new, right? Where
Yeah.
you're in their algorithm, you go up front
Yes,
faster.
exactly. Yeah. So I would, I encourage the pre-launch, but only within a certain, like I wouldn't pre-launch it. Well, I shouldn't say that. In Florida, as an example, in Seacrest Beach up on the Panhandle, like summer is their big season. So I could pre-launch one now knowing it wasn't going to be ready, but I could fill the whole calendar for the summer and it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you have decent pictures for coming soon, you could. I would see how it looks after this weekend.
Exactly. Okay. So that's fair. And our closing's been extended to the 18th, so it's not that much further away. And the other thing too is I talked about this plan to get our in-laws in. I even spoke to the tax guy, and he saw no issue with it. We're probably going to turn it on this weekend to allow our in-laws to force book something so that we can get some 5-star ratings in there, and then just not turn on the rest of February until we're comfortable that it's ready to go.
Okay. Just make sure that you time it so that when you open up that calendar, they book it and nobody else.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's another question. Is there a way to force or to send an invitation to someone, even though it's not open?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So we'll time it.
Yeah. So like the second. So what you would do, turn off instant book.
Yeah.
Make sure instant book is off. So then people could message you, but they can't instantly book it.
Yep.
Okay. So then that'll cover your butt to make sure that your in-laws can get in.
Now, the other way around this is to put a stupid price on it. And can I offer them a discount after they've booked?
They can inquire. Again, turn off instant book. They can send you a message, and then you can send them a special offer.
Okay.
So, you can make it some outrageous amount. I don't think you need to do that. You can just set it so that they have to inquire, and then nobody can instantly book it, right? And just give it to your in-laws for whatever.
No, I think that's exactly it. When it turns on, it'll only be for those 4 days, and the rest of Feb will be turned off. And the rest of the year will be turned off until we're ready to go. So, all right. That makes sense.
And the only thing is I haven't used this technique personally. I know others that have. And I don't know for sure how their algorithm works, but I would say if it was me, I would charge them somewhat of a normal amount discounted. Yeah. I wouldn't make it like $1. You know what I mean? I would make it whatever you think. If it's normally $200 a night, charge them $100, and obviously just give them back the $100 in cash, just so it looks like a legitimate booking.
We'll probably go full price.
Okay.
Quite frankly, the discount is only if it was an inflated price. But to your point, to set the precedent right off the bat.
Right.
So, okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, I'm excited for you guys. I want to see some behind the scenes photos of this place.
Hey, we'll be there on Tuesday. We'll turn the camera on
Love
on
it.
our Tuesday call for you.
Love it. Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Anything else, Steven?
I think that is it. Next person's up.
All right. Lucas, you are up. Lucas, you there? I think you're still on mute.
Yeah, sorry, I've just been doing some spreadsheets in the background for the Airbnb.
All good.
Yeah, I don't really have anything specific again today. I'm just more so being a fly on the wall, trying to get some tips on still management and integration. Just had some, nothing too major going on. Just still working on learning the management side.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, you're up, and I'm just looking at Facebook. I think you posted something. You're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know how long I'll be on, but I'm actually expecting a call from a potential. So
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah, they told me they'd call me about an hour. So that was like about 50 minutes ago. So,
Okay.
but yeah, let me see what questions I had on there. I also have that screen. So one was, what was the first one there? Oh, remember when we were on the call last week, I had that cancellation going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up getting all that revenue back, and with an extra 3 days to book. Like I have, that reservation had 10 days at 1,800. I have 7 days booked right now at 1,800.
Awesome.
So it worked out. Let me see here. I'm not seeing my questions on the page right now. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So one of the things I have not been doing, and I've heard you mention several times, is in regards to gathering guest information. So I'd like to hear your preferred method, how you're handling it, and what are you actually getting from them?
Damn it, Tommy, did you go through the vault?
I
It's in the
did, but
messages.
honestly, I can't remember exactly what it was.
So I'm sorry, it's in
Tell me where it is.
automation
I'll
secrets.
just go back and review it again.
So in automation secrets, I have all the smart B&B message templates.
Which,
So,
yeah, I've actually been using those.
Okay, so it's in. I'm just going to share my screen so you can see what I'm
Yeah,
talking
because maybe I just overlooked that. But yeah,
Oh.
I've been using those. Those go all out, automatically. They actually work very well. So.
So right, yeah, first one.
Oh, you know what? Shit, I probably have that. I have that in there then, because I just copied and pasted this. I mean, I changed it up, so I guess just no one's replying with that information. Because I've yet to get an email back with that.
Yeah, we ask everybody for that.
And are you actually getting replies?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let me double check that I didn't knock that out for some reason, but I wouldn't imagine that I would have.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're going to get there as long as they have the phone number on Airbnb or VRBO, whatever.
Which that I grabbed.
It'll come through.
Yep.
But the email is some BS like Airbnb email address, right? So that's why I ask them for their email.
Right. And because I would prefer, I mean, the email to me is what I really want, because, I want to kind of communicate throughout the year. And, if I have some downtimes or whatever, I want to offer some promotion. So.
Yes. And I would also just caution everybody, okay, that when guests ask you to call, Airbnb hates it when we take messaging offline. So always communicate through here. Yep. And if a guest asks you to call or send them a message or whatever, just say, sorry, Airbnb mandates that all superhosts communicate directly through the platform. If you have an emergency, that's why we ask for your phone number. And our, phone number is listed on the website in the event of an emergency, but all communication needs to come through the platform. Because I've heard weird stories of people getting like banned on Airbnb because they think it's because they were doing something like this, where they're like basically taking bookings off the platform.
Right.
And obviously that's how Airbnb makes their money. So just
Yep.
careful of that. Don't be like, yeah, call me for a special offer. Like that's a huge red flag, right?
Yeah. that number that's listed on there, that is their actual number. They're not creating like a, like a redirect number. I don't
For the
think.
guest.
Yeah, like on the on the details page of a
Yeah,
book.
that should be their actual phone number.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's their actual number. I didn't know if Airbnb was like masking that.
No. But they do mask the emails.
Yeah, they definitely do. And
yeah.
But yeah, I keep all the communication on the Airbnb app just because it's easier for me too. Just managing it, it's so much.
Oh yeah,
better.
for sure. I just want to throw that caution out there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good point. So, okay, I'll go back and check my emails and see. And I'm assuming it's there and just no one has replied with it yet. So,
okay. Yeah. So there's a bunch of stuff
hard
in
to
here.
believe because I've had, I've had a lot of bookings. So,
Okay.
Then the other part of that was, so on a few calls back, I had brought up the question in regards to how you're handling payouts to your customers.
So the owners?
Did you have a chance to speak with your guy in regards to that?
Yeah. So I 1099 to all the owners,
Okay.
all the cleaners, all the handyman, anybody that issued payments to over $600. I do not pay my cleaners through TurnoverBnB.
Okay.
Just because my new system is different. But if you are paying them through TurnoverBnB, I do not believe that you need to 1099 them because you're essentially paying TurnoverBnB. You're not paying them directly. So
Okay.
TurnoverBnB is going to 1099 those people. You're not.
Okay.
Same thing if you pay them through PayPal. But
Okay.
So my bookkeeper sent those out last month.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing, because you're basically just a middleman in that sense, where you're just passing the money from Airbnb, just filtering through your account over to theirs.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're not doing it, Airbnb would be doing it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the point to make to them. It's like, look, because some people may get upset about that, but the point would be, look, regardless, it's if it's not me sending it to you, it's going to be Airbnb, so it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
Okay, actually, this is the call right here, so I will. I'm just going to go on mute.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's see. So I think that's everybody on the call. Let me just check the Facebook group.
Hey, Mike, I actually had a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what's up?
Just, last week I had a cancellation. Somebody booked in on Thursday, and a couple hours later, apparently they struggled getting into the suite, so they canceled it. We just changed the cancellation policy because a few days before we ended up losing that $900 booking because we were still inflexible. Anyway, they asked for a refund. I talked to my partner. We discussed that, no, we won't refund. But before we got back to the guests, I wanted to talk to Airbnb and see if there was any potential to get a negative review from the guest after they canceled it. Airbnb said, no, the guest can't send a review because they canceled the booking. Yep. But I got a prompt from Airbnb telling me to review the guest. So is the guest going to be getting a prompt as well? Like, I mean, I'm in my full right to
I would
give a refund, but
I would call them back and be like, you guys told me that I didn't need to review them, but now I'm getting a request to a review. That's weird. Yeah. You shouldn't have gotten a request to review them because they didn't stay at your place.
Well, and the weird thing is that the request actually came in while they technically still were booked in. Like they booked in for 2 days, and I got the request to review them their first full day in the suite. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it was just a glitch in the system, but
yeah, I would call them just to make sure because that's weird.
Yeah, the woman I talked to, she wasn't very sure. She answered, but she even said herself she wasn't too sure. So maybe I'll just call them back then.
Yeah, I would do that because that's just weird.
Well, the whole situation was really sketchy. Like, it was a woman's profile that booked the suite, yet on my Ring camera, it was 2 dudes that showed up. They tried for like 30 or 40 minutes to get in, apparently. So I'm wondering if she actually got the August information and it was those 2 guys that were trying to access the suite. I don't really know. I asked about it. She said they were her brothers because she couldn't get in she never did show up on the camera. So I don't know. It was just sketchy all around. I didn't like it. But
Okay. Yeah, I would call them back because that is definitely weird. And just go from there.
Okay.
Let's see. Neil asked yesterday, same question as Tommy. This is our first full year using TurnoverBnB for cleaning. In the past seasons, we have issued W-9s to our cleaners. Does TurnoverBnB handle that? Yes, they do. Bernie, you had asked, when presenting numbers to a potential host, do you show them just the AirDNA report with the annual numbers, or do you show them the deal analyzer? I do not show them the deal analyzer or anything else. I want to keep it short and sweet and simple. So I show them the AirDNA, and then I explain that, you know, as an example, if this property is going to gross, like Matthew's over here working on a couple deals that we've got in the pipeline. What did we say this one was going to do? Roughly 70? Yeah, roughly 70 grand. So we're going to show the owner the AirDNA report that shows 70 grand. Our fee is going to be 25%. So, you know, the owner is going to, you know, net about X. We're not promising anything. We're not guaranteeing anything, but we're confident that there's enough spread from what he would get on a long-term rental versus a short-term that this would be a good deal for him. And, you know, we can answer any questions, but I don't like to give them all this extra detail because it just opens up them to like nitpick certain things like, well, why are the utilities like this? Or why is this that? It's like, I don't even want to get into that. Like, just keep it. A confused mind always says no. So how can you simplify and just show them like, oh, wow, that's a much higher number than like 36,000 at $3,000 a month. Wow. That's more than double. Okay. I'm sure that I can make more money and still pay this kid whatever he wants. Right. Like there's enough spread in there. So that's why I'm always talking about like, find the spread. That's what I'm talking about. So I like to keep it simple. I print out the AirDNA summary and I print out the credibility summary that shows the 4 steps that we use, right? The rings, the locks, the noise aware, all of that good stuff, how we like quote unquote screen guests, like those 4 different things. That's what we're presenting to them. And that's just what gets the deal done. So hopefully that helps. Danny said, does anyone know anything about Airbnb's currency settings? My unit in Boston was booked by a guest from Spain, and she was charged in euros, but claims she had a US-based Visa card and wanted it to be in dollars. Has anyone else experienced this? I have not. I would call Airbnb because they handle all the payments and be like, what's the deal? You're not collecting payment, so I wouldn't even get into that. So I would just call Airbnb to handle that. Lucas said, I have a real estate investor who I was discussing doing some Airbnb properties with. He has been getting into purchasing and setting them up himself. A couple days has gone by and he just messaged me asking how much I would charge to manage. I don't know how to answer this. Not sure why. I'm not sure what part you're confused about, Lucas. So it's, we usually start at 25%. So that's in the program. I think it's like week 1 where we talk about the 3 different models. So it's 25% after cleaning fees. That's how we set it up. So
yeah, I kind of sorted that out. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, your other post we just talked about. Demetrius, thank you for posting those links. Looking forward to seeing the pictures of the backyard lights. I think that's going to look cool. What else we got? Chad posted his listing in Hollywood, Florida. Feel free to go in there and give it some love and some criticism. Let's see. Question about Price Labs. If I set a minimum of 80, will my price bottom out at 80 regardless of discounts? Yes, it will not go below 80. Although I shouldn't say that. If you set up a new listing and you offer a discount, it's going to show up as $80, and then it's going to take the 20% off of the 80. So yes, it does come off of the Airbnb discount. Brad asked, when working with a realtor, what kind of deal do you have for referrals? You could do a flat fee. You could give them a percentage of the action. I would think a flat fee would be ideal. Maybe a few $100, 500, $1,000 max. It just depends on how much upside there is for you and what that deal is worth to you. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's all we had in the Facebook group. Let's see. I did post, which was really cool. I wanted to hear how many people have launched units, right? So we have a goal of helping 1,000 people launch their first short-term rental. And I can't measure that goal if I don't get the stats from everybody. So I want to know like who's been launching listings. And a lot of you guys are on the calls all the time. A lot of people aren't, which is fine. But I wanted to get some data. So Jamie, you guys said you launched one. Lucas, you launched one. Travis Kemper's got 2 units. Jamie and Steven, they're closing on their first one this month. Bernie's got one. Brad's got one. Dustin launched his first in October, and he's got 3 more this week, which is sweet. Demetrius got one. Dan, you're launching yours. Jade has 4 right now, and they're adding 5 more in May and 1 in July. Danny's got 1 so far, and he's looking to add a couple more. So it's exciting. I'm pumped for you guys. And I know that there's more of you that just didn't see this post. So get in there, post your stats. I want to see who's launching units. And I'm working on some cool swag for you guys once you're in the game. So I want you guys in the game. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions for this week?
Yeah, Mike, this is Bernie.
Yep.
I had one other kind of follow-up question when I was going through the co-host agreement. So
yep.
The one guy that I'm dealing with, he's a property manager. He's got a whole bunch of different properties. So he's actually like got a cleaner that he wants to keep using his own, and he's got maintenance crew for most of the stuff. So do I still need to get a credit card from him? Because I know it's said in there about possibly collecting our fee over the credit card, but that's already covered. We're deducting our fee, our commission, before sending him the check. So is it like a safety thing that conducting credit card, or if I don't need it, don't bother with it? I'm not sure if it's an issue yet, but just in case it comes up.
Well, I usually need it because I got to do the furnishings and I got to buy shit for the property and get all the locks and everything else. So I just want to make sure that I have the credit card to do all that stuff.
Right. So if all that stuff is done, then I don't really have to worry about it?
No.
Because besides that initial and besides any unexpected repairs, you don't end up using a credit card for anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thanks.
Yeah, unless, you've got a really slow month, you don't have any bookings, and you've got to get orders for supplies or whatever, and then there's literally no money in their quote unquote bank, but I think that's pretty rare. So I think you'll be good without it for this dude.
Okay.
Just set the expectation that if his cleaner doesn't perform, they're gone. Right. So set that expectation. Like, fine, you want to use your cleaner. I get it. That's totally cool. But if they're not performing at are you adding it under your Airbnb account?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a liability on you, man. So if their cleaner doesn't deliver and your review starts slipping, listen, man, like, I'm a super host. Like, this is how we operate. Like, if they're not going to deliver, you get 2 strikes and you're out. The first time I let it slide. The second time they're gone. And then I got to bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
So I would just,
Yeah.
I would just have that, and you don't have to be as aggressive and standoffish as I just was, but just so you know, right? Like you gotta protect your butt. This is your reputation, this is your business.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. Cool. Anything else, guys? So next Tuesday, is that the 10th? Yeah. So next Tuesday, we are closing the 11th. I still gotta figure out. So by this time next week, we will own a hotel. Pretty stoked. It's pretty stoked for that.
Woo-hoo!
So we'll be taking you guys behind the scenes. This is gonna be a hell of a project. So we're all fired up. We're excited for this one. We've been putting in a lot of work. You know, with the design, the construction, it's like a full-blown renovation and a lot of moving parts, but we're super excited. And we'll be giving you guys a lot of behind the scenes access and a lot of the different tweaks that we have to make to this property because it is a hotel, right? And some of the other variables, okay, do we need a call center, right? Like a lot of people like to be able to pick up the phone and call a hotel to make a booking. So do I need to hire a VA to just answer a phone all day and just take bookings, right? So Tommy, before we get off, I got to hear how it went, bud.
Yeah. That's funny because I just had a second call too, but it was a real estate agent that I've been working with, and it's funny. So I sent her a listing on AirDNA from AirDNA of a property that's performing well, and I know she knows the area, so I just sent her a listing and said, "Hey, can you tell do you know this building? It's in your city. Do you know this building? Because I would like to look for places to buy in this building." And she, sure enough, she knew the building, and she's like, would you believe it? There's a place for sale right now in that building. So she sent me the listing. So I was just on the phone with her, but yeah, so my call was great. I'm actually going to see the property Friday morning. I'm going over there to meet them kind of face to face. But everything that I spoke to them about, they were sounding very excited. It's a husband and wife, and they're looking forward to the meeting on Friday. So I want to get a walk through the property, and it's not furnished or anything. So we'd be starting from scratch. So
is this a purchase or a co-host or a lease?
It should be a co-host.
Well done.
So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to get too excited yet because we're nothing signed. But yeah, they sound like they want to get moving on it. So
I love it. I love it, man. Congrats. So carry that confidence in with you. You know what you're doing. You've got a system. You got a track record now. Get in there and get the deal.
Yep. So get it done.
I love it, man. Congrats.
Awesome.
Keep us posted. So what'd you say, Friday?
Friday.
All right.
Yeah, it's not Tuesday call. I'll let you guys know what's going on.
Post it in the group Friday, man. I want to hear this shit.
All right, cool, man.
All right, guys.
All right.
Well, thanks again, as always, for playing full out. I appreciate you guys, and continue to post in the group. And I was talking to some people on the phone over the last week when we were talking about Elite and stuff. And like, I want to build this community so that now that you guys are learning, you're growing, you're getting experience, as we're adding a lot more new people, chime in and answer their questions, right? Like you guys are the veterans now. So obviously I'm here to answer questions, but I want everybody to continue to like build this community where we're all helping each other grow. So don't be afraid to get in there, chime in and throw in your 2 cents. Okay. All right. Sweet, guys. Have an awesome night and talk next week.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.